Still plenty more to go. Today, we're reviewing the blue cards in Rivals of Ixalan. Let's go. Everybody, welcome back to our Rivals of Ixalan spoiler series. This is Commanding Magic coming at you today. Travis and Brandon here. It's time for the blue cards. This is going to be going into a lot of unknown territory because I don't play a whole lot of blue, and Brandon does. So I feel like he might have a little bit more to say than I do.
I have a lot of good cards in this color.
All
That's
right.
all I'm going to say.
When I went through, let me just say this. When I went through and did my pre-order today, it was only stuff for the dinosaur deck. So, nothing else. Right. So white, green, and red. So let's get right into this with, is this Nazal or Nezahal? Which one is it?
Nazal.
Nazal Primal Tide is 7 for a 7/7 Elder Dinosaur. This is our blue Elder Dinosaur of the set. Cannot be countered. You have no maximum hand size. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, draw a card. Discard 3 cards, exile Nazal, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step.
This is just what? Why?
There's so many things tacked onto this card that I'm like, okay, so it's blue, so the counter thing, hand size, that's a blue thing, drawing cards, that's a blue thing, the blink thing is like interesting.
I mean, I like the card, but I still can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit, if I knew if Jin-Gitaxias had a hyphen in it, I would search it up a lot easier. It does. Jin-Gitaxias with the whole no maximum hand size thing, and just, it harkens back to Jin-Gitaxias, not on a power level, but on a level where it just does many things.
Yep.
Not as powerful as Jin-Gitaxias. Like,
right.
Don't get me wrong, Jin-Gitaxias is dumb and broken, but Nazal is fun. Not only that, he has the word tide in the name of the card, and he's clearly
That's your excuse.
He's clearly in the water. So this card is going into the ocean deck. Hands down. Don't even try to argue.
My argument for the card that I'm putting in the deck that has no meaning of being there is because it's just a good card.
Oh,
but
no, there has to be a reason for the season in the ocean deck. All right.
I would, if I was making the excuse, mine would have been based on the art, nothing else.
All right. So next up,
but I like your excuse.
Next up is a card that has a really, really cool name, but it's also kind of scary because of the second word in the name, because it reminds me of another scary card.
Deadeye Navigator?
Exactly.
That's the one you're thinking
So this is Timestream Navigator,
God.
and this is one of our blue mythics for the set. So Brandon, what is Timestream Navigator?
Wait. Are you thinking of pairing Deadeye Navigator with this card? Because I had not even thought of that yet. Is that possible?
No, because it's like a tap ability.
Yeah.
Just the word Navigator gives me nightmares.
You just about gave me a heart attack.
So what's Timestream Navigator?
Timestream Navigator is 1 in a blue human pirate wizard.
All right.
There we go. It's a 1/1 with a send. So, if you control 10 or more permanents, you get the city's blessing for the rest of the game. So on a new episode, we're going to have to talk about that stuff all over again, just to remind anybody if they're watching the blue episode for the first time for whatever reason.
The blue episode? Is this going to be like the Beatles, where we have like the black episode, the white episode?
Exactly.
So I actually, funny story, I actually ordered a City's Blessing token just to have for this. I'm like, oh, okay.
Not a bad idea.
Whatever. Anyway,
and then it's got this funny text. It says, 2 blue, tap. Put Timestream Navigator on the bottom of its owner's library. Okay. Take an extra turn after this one. Activate only if you have the city's blessing.
So this card is super weird.
It is, but I love it.
That artwork's amazing, by the way.
It is. It's fantastic.
It's a lot of blues and yellows, with like the slightest bit of green, which just it brings the whole thing together. So
it's just. I love everything about this card. It might not be the best, but I dig it.
So is this like, spoiler alert, is this like the typical Phoenix mythic that you don't want to pull? Or is it the type of card that could possibly be broken by some combination of cards.
I would be okay pulling this card in a pack. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I would be happy pulling it.
Man, like whenever I see a mythic at like
Right.
3 or less mana, I get excited. Like no matter what it is.
Right.
It
Well, I
just-
mean,
it feels good.
if you go to a card like Sage of Hours, which is in the thesaurus of Timestream Navigator,
I spelled that so wrong.
but that's like I would rather play Timestream Navigator than Sage of Hours, if I'm being honest.
So I'm gonna guess spell remove all for each. Yeah, I think Timestream Navigator. Timestream Navigator can go off a lot faster. I think, unless you're just for some reason playing a
But-
deck where you can cast Age of Hours, target it with like 5 abilities, or like proliferate, or with doubling season and stuff like that.
Right.
I think
but
Timestream
here
Navigator is a
we're
little bit
also
more
talking
accessible.
about its rarities,
Yeah,
because Sage of Hours was a mythic as well.
at 2 mana for a 1/1. So there you go.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, Timestream Navigator has the creature subtype of pirate, so
Yes, which is very relevant.
yeah, very relevant.
Right.
So, next
Moving
up,
on.
I think this is a card that you're a little bit excited about, so I'll let you take it.
A little bit.
Yeah, have it.
So, Admirals Order, 1 blue for an instant with Raid. It's good to see Raid come back. I love the
Brandon
mechanic.
likes a rating.
I do. It's fun. If you
Howl
attack,
of the Horde.
yes. It's funny when you think about though. 2 of my favorite mechanics came from the same set.
Raid and Prowess.
Prowess. Yeah. So if you attacked with a creature this turn, you may pay blue rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Counter target spell.
So, how do you play this card? Is this the
I
type,
don't know.
Is this the type of card where you're playing? So, a lot of times when you see pro players talk about playing, a lot of their big actions that they take during their turn happen during the second main phase. So, is this card something that's meant to capitalize off of that?
I think this happens during combat, where they try and take out, like you go into combat,
I didn't even
and then
think of that.
they try and do something, and then you do this because all you have to do is attack. That is it.
Wow.
And raid is triggered.
Yeah. Wow.
So-
I didn't even think about that. That's a great thing. And you know what else? Like, this comes up every now and again. But so
What's that?
every commander player ever, aside from pauper players, need to be, if you're running cancel, you owe it to yourself to replace that with Admirals Orders.
I think so.
Like, this card has effectively ousted cancel. I
Yeah.
cannot see this card. I don't know. So it's funny. I say this
Like,
possibly.
I like Cancel on its own,
Okay.
but this is so much better.
So-
I like the idea of playing 1 blue mana
I
for my
see.
counter spell.
I say this kind of off the cuff, but do you think this card has the potential to just
To see legacy play? Is that
That's-
what you're saying?
yes? And like, there's probably a ton of legacy players that are like, oh, you're force of will or bust, bro, or like spell snare,
Right.
Like, because there's already like spell snare and the general CMC of stuff, and legacy is relatively low.
I feel like
but who knows?
I
Maybe
don't
this
know
is-
legacy,
maybe
but I
this
feel
is-
like by the time you're attacking in legacy,
Maybe this is like budget legacy tech.
yeah, possibly.
Like, I don't know. It's really hard to say, but this card, I really feel like it has a ton of potential. Like, even, so let's just say like standard even, or maybe even modern, who knows? Because like in modern, there's a ton of stuff that, I don't know, but in modern you have a ton of stuff that just like wins like turn 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe it really just depends on the matchup and ends up ultimately being a sideboard card. But for me, as a commander player, this card seems really awesome.
It is
I don't
so
play
good.
I don't play a ton of blue, but I can recognize the power level.
Yes. So why don't you tell us about Crafty Cut Purse?
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I haven't read this card. Like, I know it's rare. I remember when it was spoiled, but I'm like, cool. So at 4 mana for a 2/2, we have a human pirate with flash. The everyman's keyword. Everything is
Yep.
better with it. When Crafty Cut Purse enters the battlefield, each token that would be created under an opponent's control this turn is created under your control instead. So this
Good.
So
Take
okay,
all their treasure. That's what this is doing, is taking all their treasure.
that's what it's doing in standard and in like limited. But what does this card do in commander? Because this doesn't
play
say
this against my Gave deck. is
this
what you
doesn't
do.
discriminate against like whether it's creatures or artifacts or whatever. This just says so. Like, let me put it this way. This is the biggest thing that I could think of. I can't even think of the card name right now. You create 13 2/2 zombie tokens.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say
here's what you do.
What's that card's name? Do you remember? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's I know what card you're talking about.
It's not Zombie Apocalypse. It's something else.
No, I run it and gave.
Right.
Damn it! I know which one you're talking about.
What
it's the one that makes 13 zombies.
Exactly. What the hell is that card? I don't even know.
Anyway, you cast that, or your opponents cast that, and then in response, you cast Crafty Cut Purse. That resolves first, and then their spell resolves, so you get 13 2/2 zombies.
Zombie. Don't let me down, Gatherer. And we're going to sort this. I'm finding this card. Converted mana cost, descending. It's got to be the most expensive one. Army of the Damned is the name of
that one.
Yeah. So your opponent casts Army of the Damned, and you're like, bro, Crafty Cut Purse. My human pirate somehow makes all of your 13 zombies turn on.
The only thing that is wrong that could play against that is that it has flashback, so they can still pay to get more zombies.
But Brandon, what if you blink Crafty Cut Purse?
Oh God, don't even. Which we can talk about with the next card, Released to the Wind.
Hang on, I want to talk about one more card that this card reminds me of. It reminds me of Gather Specimens. Are you familiar with the card?
I think so.
It's 6 mana, 3 blue and 3. If a creature would come into play under an opponent's control, this turn it comes into play under your control instead. Man, I almost want to save this for my interview because this is actually a really messed up interaction, for lack of a way better word I could think to talk about it. I had a friend, and the rules understanding we had way back in the day was if you play Gather Specimens at the end of your opponent's turn, you gain control of all creatures that they played that whole turn. It was so messed up. It ruined a lot of games and caused a lot of arguments, but now we know better.
So, Crafty Cut Purse goes really well with the next card, Released to the Wind.
3 mana, instant speed. This is at rare. Exile target non-land permanent. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may cast it without paying its mana cost. Oh, okay. Crafty Cut Purse. He's like, I'm going to try to blink something or play something else. And you say, that's fine. I'm going to release to the wind my Crafty Cut Purse and then cast my Crafty Cut Purse because it's got flash.
Exactly.
Wow, what a card!
So does Release to the Wind though is a great card.
Does this have any other implications? So it not only
blink, from what I have seen, it has the best interactions with Titans, Eldrazi Titans specifically.
Oh, because
you can blink your Ulamog and play them again for free and blow up stuff and stuff like that.
So it's the way that it's worded is actually really interesting, is because it says its owner. If it were you may cast it, I feel like this card would cost a little bit more.
Yeah, what you don't want to do is cast this on your creatures. Because they get to just cast it again.
I mean,
for free.
Oh, I guess you're right. Without paying its mana cost. Wow, what a card! I totally missed that. That went way over my head. Without paying its mana cost. Wow, this card is so utility. This card says like Bant to me. It's
Tiny Leader's playable too.
Oh man,
a lot of the Merfolk stuff in this set is Tiny Leader's playable. Has me excited.
You know what's
even though we really don't
stupid
play
that
it anymore.
You know what's something that I just thought about? You could what if you release to the winds your own Oblivion Ring? You give them back whatever you did, but then you can cast Oblivion Ring again for free and get rid of something else. So it's like preserving your Oblivion Ring, you know? Like possibly getting rid of something else.
Oh, so what you're saying is they were to blow up your ring, you cast this to save it. Something like that?
That's not what I was thinking, but that's a very good application for that. Because that would give them their permanent back, but then you could either A, take that permanent out the next turn by casting Oblivion Ring without paying its mana cost, or get rid of a bigger threat.
Right. And literally just bank the ring for later.
Yeah. So our next card, Induced Amnesia. Brandon, you should tell us about this card.
There's not a lot I can tell you about this card. I know what you want me to tell you about it.
Brandon, this is a story card. I
don't
know
know
that
anything.
because of the thing on the thing.
You know this time.
What's happening? Here's what I think is happening. Just preliminary. Hey, I'm looking at this card's art. Like, okay, Jace lost his memory. Jace gets his memories back, and Jace is like, "Ho ho, Vraska, I'm gonna make you lose your memory." And then all of a sudden, because who knows? Maybe he's in love with Vraska. Who knows? And he's like, "I don't want her to be the bad guy or whatever." But what does that mean? That means Jace is pretty much like damn near using mind control for a love interest, which is super messed up. I kind of hope Jace does that, actually, because I don't want to like Jace, and I want him to do something else to make me not like him even more. So what's Induced Amnesia?
Induced Amnesia is a blue for an enchantment. When Induced Amnesia enters the battlefield, target player exiles all cards from his or her hand face down, then draws that mini card.
Wow.
When Induced Amnesia is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return the exile cards to their owner's hand.
It's Oblivion Ring for target player. So it's an Oblivion Ring for target player's hand.
So what
Crazy.
what is currently speculated is going on here? Jace got his memories back, which includes the memories of when he and Vraska were when Vraska was trying to kill him back on Ravnica, and is, for whatever reason, still holding a grudge, even though they've been, buddy this whole time.
Well, it's probably one of those, like, you lied to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Type things.
You didn't tell me the whole truth.
Yeah. Nothing but the truth, so help your God.
Exactly. And he's wiping her memory.
Man, it's such like a weird turn the tables thing, because like, I wonder if, like, moving forward, if they're still going to be allies, but it
was just, we were so good to having Vraska be a, like, kind of borderline
like neutral
good character.
Yeah, like a neutral character,
Which she kind of is to begin with. Her plot involves around her just trying to get the Golgari to be a more force to be reckoned with. That's why she's doing what she's doing.
Right. But man, so with that kind of idea in mind, with just the stage being reversed, where the goals might still be the same. So who knows, at the end with some cards that we might see later, I just don't know what's going to happen with the story, and I really want to know. I'm almost wondering if, as a result of what's happening here, or what we speculate is happening, if Vraska is going to die in this story.
Who knows? Who knows? Because maybe the thing that Bolas gave her, the spell to open the portal, causes something else to happen. The real question is this is only Story Spotlight 2 of 3, which is also something I'll gripe about later.
Yeah.
That, there's something else bigger that happens after this. So obviously the thing happens.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Right. The thing.
And yeah, we'll get into it later.
All right.
During the Black episode.
Next we have Kamena's Awakening, which is a 4-mana blue enchantment with Ascend. So if you control enough stuff, you get the thing. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card. If you have the City's Blessing, instead, only you draw a card. I don't really like this card. The art is pretty rad. Kamena looks like just like a evil merfolk.
Yeah.
He looks like a bad dude. I mean, I inferred that, but I'm just saying, he looks like a bad dude.
I mean, he's the one who got to Oraska and basically got it out of the ground.
Really?
Yeah. He's the one, because he knew he got the location from the other blue-green merfolk chick from Ixalan, that one.
Yeah.
And they were going to go there to protect it, but he decided to knock her out and go there himself to get the power of the Immortal Sun.
What a bad dude.
Which is what is happening in this artwork.
But that's pretty cool.
Getting the power.
That's pretty cool, though. Like, I like that sort of sense of subversion, like in the plot, where like everything's not as it seems to begin with.
Yep.
Next up is Seafloor Oracle, a very good card. But it's Brandon's turn to talk.
There's 2 blue for Merfolk Wizard.
Merfolk!
Every time. This is going to be the best set, I swear to God.
The best!
It's 2/3. And whenever a Merfolk you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. It's 4 mana, so it's not Tile Eaters playable, which is sad.
Dang.
But
yeah.
But still, though.
Man.
That's pretty good.
So, like I said before, I only got pretty much Naya stuff for the dinosaur deck from my pre-order. It was so hard not to get a whole swath of things for the Merfolk deck because I want to make that deck so bad now, but I just don't know. I just like right now it's not in the cards for me. Maybe later if someone else wants to make the deck so I don't have to, that's totally cool. You're more than welcome to do it. Whether it's you or Colin or anyone else that wants to do it. Like this deck has some serious potential, like especially after this block.
Right. So why don't you talk to us about Kite Marauder?
Kite Marauder. What am I looking at here?
I don't even
sort
know.
of weird construct carrying a pirate?
Yes, exactly.
So at 2 for a 2/1, we have a human pirate with flying, and then whenever Kite Marauder attacks, target creature defending player controls loses all abilities and has base power and toughness 0/1 until end of turn. This is like turn to frog. This is like turn to frog on legs, except turn to frog is like a 1/1, but you know.
But this is repeatable.
Yeah, so
and you can
whenever it attacks, wow, I'm gonna turn your dinosaur into just a 0/1 with no abilities. So for the pirate deck, sure, but I almost I just thought of this right now. I have Bant humans.
Yeah,
this goes in the Bant humans deck. I need to get one of these. I need to get myself one of these. What about Riverwise
Augur? 3 to blue for I can't do it. Merfolk Wizard. It's because it's those 2 creature types. I want to blend them together.
Merfwizard.
He's a 2/2, and whenever Riverwise Augur, try and say that 10 times fast, enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, then put 2 from your hand. It's a brainstorm on legs.
Wow.
Yep.
Brainstorm. I didn't even put that together.
That is fantastic. If only it didn't cost 4, but still, I'm not going to argue with the 2/2 body for 4.
If it costed 3,
that would be stupid.
It had flash.
Now you're just asking for too much.
Now we're talking.
Okay, that would be your mythic rare of the set, Travis.
So, Slippery Scoundrel is pretty cool.
Hold on, before you continue, just the names on the cards of the set is fantastic.
They've done it. They've done a great job.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So Slippery Scoundrel. First of all, I love that artwork. I love her little pirate hat. Or I think it's a girl. I'm just gonna pretend it's a girl. When I find out that it's a dude later, it's like, what's that one card? That one card from Legends that's actually a girl.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like
de Corchi. Is that it?
No. Pitiero or something.
Oh, the pirate.
Yeah, somebody de pit something.
I know which one you're talking about.
Pitiero. That's not right. Pitiero. I don't know, dude. It's that one card from Legends. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, whatever. Slippery Scoundrel is 3 for a 2/2 human pirate with Ascend. So if you have enough things that get the thing. And as long as you have the city's blessing, Slippery Scoundrel has hexproof and can't be blocked. Hexproof and can't be blocked is a very good combination of things to have.
You're talking about things to put enchantments on and get in. This is a card to do it too.
Yeah, definitely. So it not only does it go in the pirate deck, but it goes in any deck that just like runs like a Voltron style, like in the Zur deck. God forbid I talk about the Zur deck ever, because screw that deck. But
can you read the flavor text on this card for me?
It says, "I'd rather be caught red-handed than leave empty-handed." So, yeah,
pirate theme. It's just great. I love it.
Oh, it's Ramirez, right? Ramirez. It's got to be Rami. Yeah, here it is.
Ramirez Di Pietro.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one.
This is actually a woman, or it's actually a man, right? That's the thing.
I haven't.
Like, he's so bae. Ramirez de Pietro is the most flamboyant pirate. Be careful not to believe his tall tales, especially when you ask his age. There we go. So yeah, who knows? This could be like the great grandson daughter of Ramirez de Pietro.
Yeah. Okay, so
Expel from Mrazka. Go for it.
One in a blue for an instant with the send. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. If you have the city's blessing, you may put that permanent on top of its owner's library instead.
This card gets you real good.
Yes, it does.
Yes,
it's stupid.
Yeah. And
like this is one of the right. This is one of the things where I think Ascend is working to take the power level of a card way higher than it needs to be.
This is one of the ones because, like, essentially, like borderline being able to fate seal something.
Mm-hmm.
Like your opponent is gonna draw this card next turn, like,
right,
and that can set a player back more than a lot. I think a lot of people realize.
During when Magic Duels Origins came out, I played the blue-green tempo deck and did that to people all day.
Jeez,
I dispersed. I voids. No. I played a card and I played Jace, Baby Jace.
Yeah.
From that set, and it was bad. I felt good playing that deck.
It was bad, but I felt good.
Exactly.
The next card is Curious Obsession, and it is a card that I probably normally wouldn't talk about, but there's a couple things about this card that I really like. First of all, there's a treasure map that this pirate is essentially walking on.
Fantastic artwork.
It's awesome. Yeah, I love that. I love the 3-pointed hat.
The tricorns, yeah.
Yeah. And then a enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature deals damage to a player, you may draw a card. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't attack with a creature this turn, sacrifice Curious Obsession. So the flavor is there. It's like you are being enthralled by this thing that you're searching for, which is
what you're saying, Travis, is I need to get a foil one of these and put it into Shuyun. Yeah. Is what you're saying.
But you also have to order another playset of Singing Bellstrike.
It's a shame we didn't talk about that during my...
I know. We'll have to do interview 2.
Interview part 2.
So the next card goes right into the Merfolk deck, and it's called Aquatic Incursion. Brandon, what is it?
Aquatic Incursion. 3 in a blue for an enchantment. When Aquatic Incursion enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 Merfolk with tokens with hexproof.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And then
3 in a blue, target Merfolk can't be blocked this turn. So you're making one of those creatures we talked about earlier, but you can take any one of your Merfolk and make it unblockable.
So this reminds me of the card Summon the School. Are you familiar?
No.
It's white. It's 1 white and 3 for a tribal Merfolk sorcery. You put 2 1/1 Merfolk Wizards in play. And then you can tap 4 untapped Merfolk to return Summon the School from your graveyard to your hand. But this is a little bit different because it's an enchantment and there's an activated ability on it, but Summon the School has the activated ability from the graveyard. I don't know. It's just what it reminded me of.
Mm-hmm. So Travis, why don't you tell us your first impressions of Flood of Recollection?
I wish I could tell you more than I could about this card.
Well, we talked about it a little bit before the show. Why don't you?
At 2, at sorcery speed, you can return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand, exile Flood of Recollection. This card's amazing anyway, just because returning something for 2 mana, right? But
you know what I'm getting back?
What are you getting back?
I'm getting back my Past in Flames before I flash it back.
There you go.
So well, that's what I'm doing.
This is one of our other story cards. Jace tumbled down the waterfall and plunged deep into his past.
Yeah. So this is what's happening at the very end of Ixalan.
As far as story cards go, this is probably one of the biggest things, in my opinion, that's ever happened in a story card. Yeah. Just because of everything that we know about Jace, and he lost his memories, and he's like living a different life, and then this happens.
And he's at this point, and you can see the majoring,
which
is his home plane, which Travis needed to be told about earlier.
I thought it was on Zendikar. Sorry.
So, these are memories that he just, has been locked away forever, basically, to him.
Yeah.
And he's getting them all back. So he's remembering all of his time with and everything that happened with him and Alhamret. Alhamret stopping him from knowing that he was a planeswalker and all of that stuff. His time on Ravnica for the first time. Yeah. Yeah.
This card has a lot more implications than I think a lot of people might think.
We need to get to the story spoilers like now.
Yeah. Hornswoggle doesn't really do it for me. Secrets of the Golden City. I mean, I guess Secrets of the Golden City may have some potential in Commander.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 mana, draw 3 cards if you have the thing.
I mean, basically, if you can have enough permanents, you replace this for your divination.
Yeah. Silvergill Adept is an awesome reprint that I'm very excited for. Even though I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh my God, Silvergill Adept, are they going to reprint Curse Catcher?" The answer is no. They do not want to reprint that card. People have been asking for a reprint of Curse Catcher for so long.
Yeah.
And they're just not doing it. They're not having it. Do you know what Curse Catcher does?
No,
it's
I don't.
1 for a 1/1 Merfolk Wizard, and you can sacrifice it to counter target instant or sorcery unless they pay 1.
Nice.
People have been asking that for so long, and they just won't do it.
Yeah, I can see why.
As a fan of Raid, do you like Siren Reaver at all?
Let's see, Siren Reaver. I haven't read all the spoilers, like the common and uncommon spoilers for today.
Sure.
I just glanced over them and read the ones that look neat. 3 in blue, 3/2, pirate with Raid. Costs 1 less to cast if you attack with a creature this turn. Nah, not really.
Yeah. Mistcloaked Herald is our unblockable creature for the set, which we were gonna have it. It was gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. It's a Merfolk. There's lots of Merfolk's energy here.
Yeah.
So,
going through here, I don't think there's really anything else too terribly interesting. Crashing Tide is kind of cool. At 3 mana, we have a sorcery, which is unfortunate that it's not an instant. But it has flash as long as you control a Merfolk, and you return target creature for 3 mana, but you also draw a card. So,
yeah,
there's some value to be had there. I feel like that might be worth playing in the Merfolk deck. What about Deadeye Rig Hauler? The raid on that is pretty alright.
3/2 with Raid. When Deadeye Hauler enters the battlefield, if you attack with a creature this turn, you may bounce a thing.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
That seems okay.
4. I mean, I'm not too thrilled about playing this in Commander, but
sure. We have some awesome new artwork for Negate.
Oh yes, that artwork for Negate's fantastic.
Awesome.
I mean, that's going to look fantastic in foil.
Oh yeah. We have the counter for dinosaurs, River Darter.
It's fantastic.
3 for a 2/3 that cannot be blocked by dinosaurs.
Hey, Travis, have you gotten your sea legs yet?
I'm about to. Because at a mere 1 mana, with flash, I can enchant myself with this and give myself +0/+2 as long as I'm a pirate, which I am most of the time. Otherwise, I get -2/-0. So, yeah. That's fine. For Commander, probably not. But
no,
it's just fun.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's it for blue. We have some pretty interesting things here. Like I said, a lot of these things were things that I kind of never really thought too far into just because I'm not really a blue player. But that's why Brandon is here to pick up my slack. So.
Yep. Just like to pick up my slack for the green cards.
That's right. So that's going to do it for Season 2, Episode 18. Rivals of Ixalan spoilers, the blue section. Next time, we take on Rivals of Ixalan spoilers, black.